He's going to talk about the state of AEW. I'm curious what Jim Cornette has to say on the state of AEW. This was back in November 29th. So let's see.
They got an hour and 40 minutes in on this program without, and this wasn't as insulting or ridiculous as a lot of stuff. So once again, we have to give them a nice little round of applause. And no wonder that the fine folks up in WWE land can't figure out what's going on, because this program is so much easier to watch than theirs. This program is more exciting than theirs in the good stuff. This program is much more like pro wrestling than anything the WWE is producing.
Jim, there's a lot of nice things to say about AEW. What the fuck is going on? He must really like it that Kenny left. This is after Kenny Omega has he just really hates Kenny Omega. I think he loves AEW. That's great.
And now that they have talent in AEW, whereas before they were short on that.
What a motherfucker. He really hates certain people in AEW, but I'm glad he likes the organization as a whole. 2019 AEW was fucking amazing, but for, I guess, all the things that Jim Cornette hated. And yeah, now, there has been a major change from like 2019 AEW to 2021, 2022 AEW. It's very different. And it's very much more like the WWE when it was at its best is kind of what AEW is doing now. So yeah, I guess I get why he's come around.
You know, you can't watch a WWE show anymore and go, fuck, this is...
Yeah, the WWE programming, like the pay-per-views, I think are still kind of okay. But their shows like SmackDown and Raw, unfucking watchable shit. Like just horrible. Like it's not even, there's no wrestling. It's just bullshit. They just trot out the wrestlers in front of the audiences, and it's a bunch of moms and kids, and they all fucking scream. And then they do really shitty scripted plots that suck. And then they try to do some fucking comedy and it sucks. And the whole fucking thing is, it's just not what you came to see if you came to see a wrestling show like you used to watch back in the fucking 80s and 90s or whatever.
You pretty much have to acknowledge that this is just boring, and the other stuff at least is more exciting.
You know, again, to my comment earlier in the show, the good stuff in AEW right now, which all happens to be the serious stuff in AEW right now, is exactly what we hoped AEW would be. Sports-based wrestling in the vein of Mid-South wrestling for 2021 or for 2019, whenever they first started up. The Danielson stuff, Darby Allin slugging the Gun Kid, the MJF Punk segment, you know, even Britt Baker. I think...
Like the whole fucking show. Like basically the whole show. I mean, yeah, it did used to feature more. I don't know, man. I don't think these guys were appreciating everything AEW was until this point, maybe. Because it's never been that fucking goofball. I just don't think they like Kenny Omega. I think it really comes down to just a deep-seated hatred of Kenny Omega. And now he's off the show, so now they're happy. Okay, cool. Great.
There's a lot of stuff on this show that's really good. And there's even stuff I left out. Taz and Leo Rush and Dante. There's a lot of stuff that's good, and everything that's good is the serious shit. And to me, this is what the product should be. Completely the opposite of WWE and everything else out there, which always just...
I mean, it's so fucking weird that they would spend the first 2 years just shitting on AEW only to come around and praise it. Like, what the fuck? You think it's instantly going to be the best it could be from day one? It was like, it's literally a bunch of kids running a wrestling organization. They have a few old timers in there. They got Dean Malenko in creative. They have a couple other old timers in there helping them. But, you know, the creative control is mainly falling on, you know, Tony Khan, who is not that old and doesn't have that much experience. This is his first wrestling organization he's ever run. And then you have your executive branch, which is like Cody, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. They never run shit. And they're going to run a whole fucking organization perfectly. I mean, I think they did a great fucking job. Could it be better? Should it be improved? Yes. I mean, if you look at the WWE from, day one until now, it went through a lot of changes, and I would expect AEW to do the same. Some points, people like, Cornette and his lackey are really going to like. And then we might go through a phase where they don't like it at all. Kenny Omega comes back, and then maybe Kenny Omega leaves again, and then they'll fucking like it a lot again, and then maybe he leaves again. Whatever happens. But, I imagine I went through the same phases too. Early 2022, like this year, like early January, I didn't like I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Things are kind of shitty. Maybe it was December, January. I was like, I don't know. And then they just won me back hard. Just through various things they were doing. And the crowd reaction too can change your opinion on things. They might fucking just love it when the crowd boos Cody. I mean, that was kind of, I kind of enjoy that too because it's so fucking weird. But these guys probably fucking hate Cody, so they love that part.
Just ends up mirroring WWE in one form or another. The Buck stuff, the Jericho stuff, that shit fits on Raw. The good stuff we're seeing in AEW is the best stuff we're seeing in wrestling, and it shouldn't be watered down around a bunch of crap and bad comedy. Either create a separate show where it could just have the stupid shit and the comedy shit.
I mean, sure, I'm into that idea, but why the fuck would they do that? Why the fuck would you just have a stupid show and then like a sports entertainment show? People watch for the variety, you goddamn idiots. What the fuck, man? What they would, if they want the serious fighting show, they would watch MMA or something. They wouldn't fucking watch wrestling at all. Wrestling's always been dumb. I mean, I guess maybe these guys have just hate. I mean, isn't Cornette himself dumb when he was out there doing wrestling shit with a fucking white suit and fucking tennis racket? Nobody took that shit seriously. Was he a hard ass? Or was that like a fucking joke? I always took Cornette as a fucking joke. Whenever I saw Cornette come out, it was like, oh, this is bullshit. This guy isn't going to beat anybody up. He's wearing a fucking, white suit with a fucking tennis racket or whatever the fuck he's doing. He's not going to beat anybody up. This is bullshit. This is stupid. This is a comedy bit.
Or what are you doing?
What the fucking comedy wrestler getting mad at comedy and wrestling? I don't understand it.
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, because the good thing... Go ahead.
No, it's just the good shit is so fucking good right now. And when you follow that up with the best fucking friends, it makes me not want to support you.
You see, and we just had and who says the one thing can't be the other thing? Because Orange Cassidy just had a fantastic match against Adam Cole, which was a lights out hardcore match, and it was fucking great. So yeah, those guys, the best friends stable, are a little, I don't know, lighter in tone. Over as fuck with the audience, by the way. On the business side of things, Orange Cassidy has like the best selling fucking shirt out of anybody for early. I mean, I think that, and the fans are fickle. They go both ways too. You got Hook, who comes out, and now he's the fucking top selling shirt, and he's serious as a fucking heart attack, right? Ups and downs. Shit changes, man. Calm the fuck down, dudes.
But that's all I'm saying.
The good thing is it's been almost 3 years, and some of these contracts are coming up. And one would have to think that we will. I mean, already somebody sent in, I think it was the AEW Botches account, sent out a tweet saying, well, we haven't seen Jelly in months. We haven't seen Sonny Kiss in months. And by the way, Dwarf Dong Sucker has disappeared from the side of the not the Luchasaurus, the Jungle Expert, Jurassic.
What the fuck? Did he just call Marco? That was fucked up, dude. What the fuck? Marco's like, I think he called him a dwarf dong sucker was his nickname for Marco. And I thought calling Kenny Omega Twinkle Toes was something else. Holy shit. What a fucking asshole.
Yes, trying to figure that out. So
what the
even
fuck?
if he's not making a public announcement like the WWE does, we wish so-and-so the best in their future endeavors because we just fired their ass, it's turning over.
Was Marco really fucking anything up by being around? I mean, I'm not crying tears not to see Marco on TV anymore. It's fine. It's fine. The roster's growing. They're bringing in larger talent. You got to make room for them. Whatever. You know, it is what it is if Marco's not around anymore. Plus the Jurassic Express is kind of they're evolving. They're tag champions now. Having them be a 3-man team, I don't know. Does Marco hurt anything by being around though? Like, no, I don't think so. Financially, if they don't want to float his bill anymore, fine. But it wasn't like he was ruining AEW by existing.
We haven't had to see those people in a long time and probably never will again, thankfully.
Like, seeing them, they can't handle it. They can't handle anybody who doesn't fit the wrestler mold in their eyes, I guess. If they're not tough enough, if they're not hard boys, these guys can't watch. Like, dude, like if these dudes aren't hard enough, I don't want to see them. If I see anybody who's not like rock hard, like they got to be like rock hard. They got to be like rock hard or else I don't want to see them. If they're any kind of soft whatsoever, that's going to turn me off. I need to be rock hard watching other rock hard men. If they are soft at all, it just turns me off and I can't watch that shit.
Because now there's talent in. If there's just some way, like I said, so the 3-year contracts, a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm going to agree here. Like, you know, I don't know if Marco is really taking Jurassic Express to the next level. Probably better as a team without, just because, I don't know. He's more of a, his spots didn't elevate the team. I don't know. You know, they're struggling anyways. It's hard to say. I still don't really think the Jurassic Express is like the best damn tag team. Marco or no fucking Marco. Whatever.
Those are coming due and there'll be some turnover. If there was just some way that we could reignite the interest on the part of the WWE in the Hardy Boys so that they would make a big offer and the Hardy Boys could accept it, they can go and
they just re-signed.
Well, that's what I heard they re-signed for summer. I was thinking they can.
The Hardy Boys are the Young Bucks, by the way. They want the WWE to learn. What the fuck is this plot? The Cornette is hatching. He's like, if the WWE could offer the Young Bucks enough money, then they could leave AEW and I could have the perfect wrestling experience to shit on weekly on my show. What the fuck is the plot, dude? I'd like to fuck up the Young Bucks' life. I'd like to have them stuck in the WWE and have their careers buried. Fuck those guys. They seem soft. They're not hard.
Go and do comedy and fit in over there in Fantasyland, and we could have a wrestling show if they just get rid of the Hardy Boys. But they
have, Jim. Shut the fuck up, dude. Just like all he had to do was like wait a month. And the Young Bucks are barely on TV at this point. They've been replaced by Adam Cole. The Young Bucks just took a backseat to Adam Cole and his crew, the Undisputed, Bobby Fish and the other fucking guy. Yeah, the Young Bucks are like, they come out, they do a super kick, and they fucking leave and they don't talk. So he got his way. They can still. What is your fucking problem with the guys earning a fucking living or being on create or whatever the fuck is going on? How do you know what's happening in AEW? You don't know what's going on behind the fucking curtain. You don't have a job there, motherfucker. Your job is bitching on the internet. How the fuck do you don't know that all the shit that you like about AEW is actually attributed to the Young Bucks being on the fucking board? All the talent you like and all the matches you like could have very well been fucking scripted and created by the goddamn Young Bucks, or at least, 25% of it.
Signed him again because Tony's personal friends with him. And he, even if he knows at this point, he doesn't want to tell him that they've fucked up his whole fucking company for the past.
They haven't. They have not fucked up a goddamn thing. No. AEW is doing fantastic for being as young as it is. I think it's doing goddamn wonderful. People know what AEW is now, and that's an accomplishment in itself.
Last 2 years, and we're just getting the chance to see what it could be without their influence. But
how the fuck do they know how much influence they have? The writer's room isn't open for speculation. Who the fuck knows?
Let me ask you this. If AEW lost Bryan Danielson tomorrow, would it hurt AEW?
I think it would.
What about CM?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't change a fucking thing. No, it's too soon. We would like to see more matches with him. But yeah, Bryan Danielson hasn't been on the last few weeks. Ever since his match with Hangman, he hasn't been out the last couple of weeks. And I think the shows have been better. I mean, I missed the Danielson match. That's always been a good match. But it hasn't been the whole show. It's not like Danielson adds so fucking much to the whole thing. Like, I think a bigger change in AEW would come if you fuck with the announcement team. If you think about it, like what you're actually watching is you're watching the commentary team for every match. So if you make a change to the commentary team, it's going to drastically change the AEW product. If you take someone like Cody away, which we might have at this point, he might be off for a while, and that happened before. Cody took off when CM Punk stepped in, and that did entirely change the product because CM Punk kind of became the front man of AEW, where that was a role that was filled by Cody before. Whenever he would come out and talk to the audience and kind of be the ringleader of the whole thing, that would change things.
It would hurt the show quality. Oh my God, yeah.
But Bryan Danielson didn't do that. He just came out and kicked people's asses and went to the back. Like, he barely talked at all. Like, there wasn't much of his character didn't infect the show. CM Punk, yes. If CM Punk leaves tomorrow, you have a different era of AEW. You have to fill that void somehow with something. That will change. Kenny Omega leaving as champion was a big move. These people matter. Other people don't.
Yeah, it would hurt the show quality. It might hurt the ratings a bit. The AEW fans that were there would certainly not turn their backs on the company over it, but it would hurt in terms of any new viewership and definitely in terms of show quality.
CM Punk, same thing, correct?
Yes.
If AEW lost Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks, would it hurt AEW in any way?
I don't see how, because again, the same thing. The people are going.
I don't know what the Young Bucks are doing behind the scenes, and I don't know what Jericho's doing behind the scenes. I don't know what CM Punk and Bryan Danielson are doing behind the scenes either, but I have to imagine that they have less say in things because they've been around less time. Don't know how the hierarchy works there, how the backstage politics are. Those things matter. The Young Bucks leaving right now probably wouldn't matter to. I mean, they've already fucking left. Like I've said, they've gone to the back and they don't really come out very much. What they're doing behind the scenes, though, I don't know. It's probably better to have them around as to not have them around because they were the whole creative force behind the creation of AEW. So who are you going to replace them with? Like, yeah, Cornette gets his way and the fucking Young Bucks go to WWE and fuck off. Well, then who starts taking over, whatever they used to do and the match types? Like, at what point does it become like too far the other way? Like, what, you get a guy like Taz to take over? I mean, I think things that hurt AEW were like Team Taz. The boring shit, right? I know some people like Taz. Taz seems like a cool guy. But I think we can all agree that Team Taz has been a fucking stinker. Any segments involving that until we got Hook out here, of course. Everybody fucking loves Hook. Rightfully so. That's awesome. And whatever the fuck is going on, like things that hurt AEW are things like fucking Top America Team. That's awful. Nobody likes that. It sucks. Like things of that nature suck. Like universally suck. People don't like Cody. Like I'm surprised we're not talking about Cody fucking off. That's what everybody wants Cody to fuck off, but he won't fuck off. Would that make the show better? I don't know. I think it would get the show talked about less. I think Cody's actually a genius in what he's doing because people talk about his shit. Like, people aren't talking about a lot of other things about the show, but they'll talk about Cody.
Going to come that, like AEW, regardless of who's on the card, because it's AEW, it's like an ECW thing, but no, the match quality would go drastically up if we didn't have to see the Hardy Boys all the time, and Jericho if we didn't.
Yeah, I think they all had a shot to go to the WWE. Pretty much anybody in AEW probably has an open door into the WWE or has already been there.
Didn't have him latching onto the guys that can still go and, trying to sap all the interest off of them. That would make a better show as well. So I think, yes, if they lost Danielson, they lost Punk, it would hurt. Jericho and the Hardy Boys.
I don't think it would have.
They're already gone, man. They're already gone. I mean, and I would say we need the Young Bucks in the ring. Like, we need the Young Bucks in the ring are great. I think we need face Young Bucks. Heel Young Bucks have run their course. And we need the face Young Bucks back who do ladder matches with the Lucha Brothers. That's awesome. I can't see that. I mean, I don't think Cornette likes spots, big showy spots, so whatever. But everybody else does. The AEW crowd loves that shit. We just saw Cody and Sammy Guevara have a fucking ladder match, and it's all over everywhere because it was amazing spots off of ladders, and the Young Bucks will do that. So get them in the ring to do that shit. Their fucking cage match with the Lucha Brothers was like the best tag match of last year. So yeah, to keep them in the ring. I agree. It's better without them, whatever. They have their own YouTube channel for that outlet. We don't need that in general. Keeping things more straightforward is fine. I mean, I think we saw a lot of the shit they're picking on too is shit that was going on in 2020 during quarantine. They did a lot more goofy shit on AEW in 2020 than WWE or anybody would because they had a smaller roster and they didn't have as many means to have matches. So they were doing all kinds of stupid shit that, I wasn't even entertained by half the fucking time, and I'm a total AEW mark.
Affect anything. But it's not going to happen. But I don't think it would affect anything, and that's important to note.
I know, and I was being facetious. I know full well that the WWE is not going to make the Hardy Boys a fucking offer. They made all those guys an offer just to see if they could sign them up and hide them somewhere so that Tony Khan would get discouraged and go on about his business. When that didn't work, they'd never fucking hire half those guys they made offers to again. That'd be ridiculous. Because
I don't know. We'll see, Cornette. We'll fucking see. All right. All right, that was Cornette on AEW, which he's a fucking expert on. Let's see what Jim Cornette has to say on Marvel Comics. This is like our domain. Jim Cornette's coming into our house. Let's see what he says about fucking Marvel Comics. This should be a laugh.
An off-topic question sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from John Fell in Baltimore. When you first started reading comics, what was it about Marvel that appealed to you more than DC? I know you read both, or read both, but when you talk about your favorites, you lean towards the house of ideas.
yes.
Also, if the original Avengers, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man, and Wasp, fought the original Justice League, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, I don't know who this is, John Jones,
the Martian.
What is this stupid shit? I came here to hear about wrestling and we're talking about fucking Marvel Comics. What is this stupid shit? Why these motherfuckers gotta be talking about Marvel goddamn comics instead of fucking wrestling is what I want to know. Why the fuck are you talking about this? Wouldn't this be better if these motherfuckers were taken off this show and then we could talk about actual wrestling things? Maybe get these motherfuckers off of here and get them signed somewhere else and then start talking about more wrestling. These sound soft to me. I like them to be more hard. I can't handle this shit. It's like they'll fucking criticize AEW for going off and doing anything that isn't wrestling, and then, and then just fucking tangent off to fucking Marvel Comics. Like literally no one fucking cares what Jim Cornette thinks about Marvel Comics. Nobody fucking cares at all. I don't give a shit. I can't even do it for the content. I don't fucking care.